So you're new to the US and trying to figure everything out. Well, let's talk about taxes. I know, not the most exciting topic, but it is one of the most important things you'll do here, because one little mistake can actually affect your whole future. In this guide, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know to get it right.
You might be thinking, okay, so if I make a mistake, I just pay a fine to the IRS, right? No big deal. But for a new immigrant, is that really all there is to it? For anyone who's on the path to getting a green card or becoming a citizen, the stakes are way, way higher. See, a tax error isn't just a financial problem, it's a massive red flag on your immigration record. It can tell officials that you're not following the rules, and that can become a huge roadblock. This is about so much more than money. It's about your future in this country.
Okay, before we dive into the most common traps, please take a second to subscribe. We create these guides specifically to help you navigate your new life in the US, and we want to make sure you have all the clear, simple info you need to succeed.
All right, first things first. The most critical thing to understand is your status, because in the eyes of the US government, you don't just have one, you actually have two.
On one side, you have your immigration status. That's your visa type or if you're a green card holder. But then there's your tax status, and the IRS decides that completely separately. You could be here on a student visa, for instance, but still be considered a resident alien for tax purposes. And believe me, they are not the same thing, and knowing the difference is absolutely key.
So how does the IRS figure all this out? Well, it really just comes down to two simple tests. First is the green card test. If you have a green card, boom, you're a US tax resident. Super simple, right? The second one is the substantial presence test. This is all about counting days. If you've been physically in the US for at least 183 days during the year, you'll most likely be considered a tax resident.
And this is the one that really shocks most newcomers. Once the IRS sees you as a US tax resident, you have to report your worldwide income. I mean everything. Your salary here in the US, any rental income from back home, even interest you earn from a foreign bank account. All of it. Forgetting this is probably the easiest and most costly trap to fall into.
All right, now for the practical stuff. Let's get into the most common mistakes people make. Think of this as your personal what not to-do list to help you steer clear of any trouble.
Let's break these down. First up, choosing the wrong filing status. It just seems easier to check single, right? Especially if your spouse isn't even in the US yet. But that is a serious, serious mistake. You have to file as either married filing jointly or separately. Anything else is a problem for immigration. Second, ignoring foreign assets. A lot of people just assume the IRS only cares about what's in their US bank account. That is a very dangerous assumption, and it leads to our next critical point. I really need you to remember this number, $10,000. If the total of all your foreign bank accounts combined went over $10,000 at any single point during the year, you have to file a whole separate form called an FBAR. The penalties for not doing this are huge, so please burn this number into your memory.
Okay, let's hit the last three big traps. Number 3, using the incorrect ID. If you were using an I-10 for a while, and then you finally get a social security number, you must start using that new SSN on your taxes right away. It's a really common error. Number 4, the mid-year mistake. So what if you showed up in, say, June? You weren't a resident for the whole year. That makes you a dual status alien. It sounds complicated, but all it means is the IRS treats you as a non-resident for the first part of the year and a resident for the second. Your taxes get a bit tricky then, so that's a great time to talk to a professional. And finally, number 5, simple typos. A misspelled name, a wrong number, anything that doesn't perfectly match your official documents can cause massive delays for your immigration case. Triple check every single detail.
Okay, I know that was a lot, and it can definitely sound a little scary. But here's the good news. You are not alone in this, and you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. There are some excellent, totally free resources out there to help you get it right.
Let me show you two of the absolute best free programs out there. First, there's IRS Free File. If you earn under $79,000, you can use well-known tax software completely for free. Second, and this one is fantastic for newcomers, is the VITA program. VITA gives you free, in-person help from IRS-certified volunteers who are trained to help people with lower incomes or limited English.
And before we wrap up, I have one last piece of advice, and this one is non-negotiable. Save everything. From your very first tax return, keep a physical copy and a digital copy. When you finally apply for citizenship with that N-400 form, you will need to prove your tax history. It is an absolute requirement.
So let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture here.
and connect all these little details back to what's really important, your long-term future here in the United States.
You know, this quote really just sums it all up perfectly. Filing your taxes correctly isn't just another chore you have to do. It is an investment in your future. It's how you show you're committed to being a responsible part of this society. And really, it's the price of admission for a smooth path to citizenship.
Hey, if this guide helped you out, please do us a huge favor and subscribe, and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you never miss an essential update. Every time you do, it helps us make more explainers just like this one to empower our entire immigrant community. Thanks for watching.